Hello, everyone, and welcome to this family. If you are new, it is Aging Happily with Hilda. I trust you all are doing great as always. Yes, today I want us to talk about caregiving and guilt. This is one of those sensitive topics, one of those topics that is very, very interesting but emotional. I decided to talk on this because I came across a caregiver last week you won't even imagine. She was burnout, exhausted, stressed out, depressed. She even developed health issues because she has been looking after her mom for the past few years who had stroke. And now she was really, really exhausted. She was desperately looking for a caregiver. It's kind of very late for her, but I guess that was the only option that she had at that moment because she couldn't do it anymore. Worst thing that even happened is she couldn't do anything for her mom. And now mom started to get into depression. Everything that she used to do by herself, she was unable to do it. And getting back to that baseline was very, very, very difficult. And why is this happening? It's just because the daughter didn't take that much needed break, that time to look after herself. You want to be strong. You want to have that energy to be able to look after someone who is sick, after a loved one. But because she failed to take care of herself, she got into this situation. This is actually bringing me to the message I have for you today. But before I get into that message, for those who don't know me, my name is Hilda. I am a nurse by profession and a lady who just loves to help people to age happily. And on this platform, we talk about health, we give health tips, we share caregiving tips, talk about seniors, and the stereotype that is surrounding aging as a whole. We talk about those things that will actually make you to feel happy, to have that inner fulfillment as you age. And I want to urge you all to watch this video to the end because the tips here actually going to help you to add value to someone's life out there. In today's video, I will be sharing reasons why caregivers resist advice to take the regular breaks that they need. And the second part of it, I'll be sharing tips on how these same caregivers can easily take their breaks while looking after their loved ones with zero guilt, without having any guilt. I can't emphasize this enough, people. You want to give the best, you want to provide holistic care to your loved one. And the only way that you can do this is when you are physically, mentally, psychologically healthy. You want to be ready to be able to give the best to someone you love. I really want you to know this. The secret to be able to look after a loved one for as long as you can is for you to be intentional about your feelings and take a rest when you are tired. Just as I mentioned earlier, if you're feeling exhausted and stressed out all the time, the tendency is that you develop health issues, and of course, it's going to decrease your capacity to look after someone that you cared for, someone that you love. But you know what? Some caregivers resist advice to take regular breaks, even when they have access to that help. You don't want to blame any caregiver for this for the following reasons. Firstly, some caregivers think that seeking help for their loved one is more of an emotional decision instead of looking at the rationale or the reason behind that decision, which of course is their health that they don't want to compromise. Secondly, most caregivers feel guilty stepping out even for a short period of time to take that rest, or they are not comfortable to bring a stranger home to look after their loved one. How are you going to get that rest? I think the best thing is for you to make your loved one to be comfortable with that stranger. You want to look for a way to make them feel comfortable with each other. That is the only way out, people, to be able to take that much needed break for yourself. Thirdly, Your loved one can actually be in denial that he or she need help. And it's actually going to play on your psychology to look for an assistant. That is even more frustrating, trust me. Yeah, and if you've watched this video to this moment, I urge you to like, subscribe, hit that notification button so you don't miss out on any videos. And most especially, I want you to share to friends and family because we all have people to care for. We all have loved ones to look after. It could be kids, adults, seniors, or even a friend. So now let's talk on ways to make it easier for caregivers to take that much needed break. The very first thing that you want to consider is to accept that you are going to be guilty. Let me tell you something. Guilt is part of caregiving just because you care, simply because you care. There is no way that you can run away from guilt when you are looking after somebody, and guilt is not going to disappear. So don't let this stop you from getting the caregiving help that you need. And yes, taking regular breaks is the best way to build, to maintain your overall health and your ability to be able to provide care. Come to think of it, how good are you going to feel when you don't take the break? Your overall health tends to decline to the point that you are even unable to look after that loved one, that person that you care so much about. It's even devastating. So there's no point. It's not helping your loved one in any way if you are not physically or mentally well enough to be their care provider. Another tip is not for you to ask permission from your loved one, especially your older adult, when you really need caregiving help. This is actually not a decision for them to make. When someone or your older adult is refusing outside help, it's just because they are really uncomfortable with the whole idea. And someone with dementia or someone having mental issues is not having that cognitive ability to take any rational decision. And to be candid with you, when they take decisions because of the decline in cognition, they don't consider your own needs. Even theirs, they don't consider their true needs. That's why you have to take that decision on their behalf. We are not saying that you throw them off or you don't make them to become part of their care. You want to incorporate them in their care, but you want to do that in a technical way. Remember, you are the one feeling the way you are feeling. So, getting help, it is necessary if you're feeling exhausted. The most important thing here is that you want them to be safe, comfortable, and cared for when you are not available. Another tip for you to easily take your break is for you to start looking for a caregiver now before you really need it, if it is possible. Why do I say so? Sometimes it can be very challenging to get a caregiver that best matches the need of your loved one. So that's why you have to start looking for somebody now that within can slowly get used to the routine. That way they will transition through that process smoothly. It could be somebody, it could be a friend, someone who just wants to volunteer. Just get somebody, even a caregiver that you need to pay. Get the person now, take that decision now. And just let them stop by maybe once or twice a week and get used to the routine. That way, when they really need help, it's just going to be very easy. They will be understanding each other, and it's actually going to liberate you from that stress and any conflict that can come between you and your loved one when they really need the help. The fourth thing that you want to consider is to combine paid services with help from family, volunteers, and friends. It is it is true. Sometimes paying for a caregiver can be very, very expensive, but at the same time, you want to weigh the options. Is it better for you to get somebody to look after your loved one or to compromise your own health? You want to put those two conditions on the plate and just measure. If you can get somebody like a family caregiver or someone who volunteer to come maybe 2 times or 3 times a week, then you can take a caregiver, you can hire a caregiver to make up for the other days. That way you are still able to have some time for yourself. The fifth thing that will actually enable you to take that much needed break is to call and check in to make sure that your older adult or your loved one is being cared for the way you really wanted. Yes, you are already nervous or stressed out that you are leaving your loved one with a stranger, somebody you don't know. And that is not actually going to give you any peace of mind. So, to have your peace of mind while taking your break, it is very important to just call to check, call intermittently. Just check on how your mom or dad is doing. If it is possible, let the caregiver just put down or write down some notes hour by hour to enable you to know exactly how your loved one was doing during that time. And if you're fortunate enough that your mom or dad is actually having that cognitive ability to tell you how the day went, it's even a credit. So you want to try this, you want to call just to be sure that he or she is well cared for. That is actually going to give you some peace of mind and help you to relax and regain that energy and strength. The last but most sensitive is to be creative when introducing a hired caregiver. You know what? No one wants to be told that he or she will be getting a babysitter. Are you kidding me? Especially the older adults. You never want to tell them that because they just feel like somebody's coming to take over their independence. And that is one of the things that they like to hold on to it till the moment that they are going to their graves. Especially those with dementia. You don't want to make them develop any anxiety to scare them because they know a stranger is coming. So once you know that your loved one is resistant to outside help, you want to be technical. You need to be sensitive and creative about how to introduce that stranger, that outside help to your loved one or to the household. There are so many ways to go about this. One of the ways that you can easily put this out to your loved one is letting him or her know that you actually need some extra help around the house. So when somebody comes in, your loved one will see them as someone who has come to help you, not them. Don't be happy that they can still do their whatever they love doing by themselves. And also, if you can technically tell your loved one that, oh, this caregiver is actually coming because he or she needs some extra money. To be frank with you, seniors love to give. They are generous. They are happy when they give. So when you tell them that you are just getting somebody around the house so that that person can have some extra money, they will be happy. Also, if it is a situation that you are having, maybe family members or volunteers, somebody or people who are really close to you coming to the house, just let them know. Let your loved one know that the family member is coming just for sleepover or just to catch up some time with the family. That way, they will never think of you bringing somebody to look after them. And when they come over and over, they become used to that stranger, that person who is coming to help you around the house. You've actually paved a way for them to build that relationship down the road when that time actually comes. And it will be much easier for you to easily step out, to sneak out when the family members or those who are volunteering are coming to help you. That way you have some time for yourself. And yes, for a recap, if you are a caregiver, that I believe we all are, you want to take that break when you are tired. Don't wait until it is too late. The only way you can look after somebody that you love, that you can give your best, is when you are physically and mentally healthy. If those things are not in place, you are unable to give the best to your loved ones. So that's my message for you today, and have come to the end of this video. I believe it was so much of value, and I urge you to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button so you get notified each time any of these tips are uploaded. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Stay blessed.